Hello and welcome to Reddit on Reddit, the internet's auditory version of Reddit. I'm Nelson Allingham, joined by Michael Cambo Campbell.
These are the days, Nelson, that you wish you didn't have to do a podcast.
Every day.
Every day. Mm-hmm. But I just want everyone to know, it's pretty hot in Melbourne at the moment. String of hot days altogether.
Yeah.
But I want everyone to know that where we record, it's a multifunctional room. It's got two purposes.
Yeah.
One, it's the podcast room where we record every week.
Yeah.
But it does double as by far the hottest room in the house.
Yeah.
And today, it's really kicking both of those into full gear. We're podcasting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exactly what it's meant to do. Also, blistering hot in here.
Yeah.
As it's meant to be in the hottest house in the room.
Here's what I did that was stupid. I wore my green thong. I thought that would make me cooler, but I just get hotter, Cambo. So that was a mistake on my part.
Certainly didn't help, did it?
No. I think I radiate heat
as soon as you arrived, I said, Nelson, you look great.
Yeah.
This is annoying.
I'm like, oh, sorry. I tried to
I deliberately
mess up my hair a little bit.
I deliberately wore a shirt with pictures of broccoli on it.
Yeah.
To help.
It's a great shirt.
Oh,
Can I just get everybody to imagine what a shirt looks like with bits of broccoli on it? And that's what Cambo's wearing.
That's what I'm wearing.
It's great.
But I thought that would be not hot. So therefore, I wouldn't contribute to the heat of the room. But I may have backfired.
I bet you there is a psychology behind wearing things that look cool. We should have a shirt on that has ice cubes on it or something.
That's good.
I bet you there's a psychology behind it. Like a cool blue shirt with ice cubes on it. My God. I'm getting colder just thinking about it. As such, every post today relates to coolness, cool thoughts.
I just
in some way.
I just noticed I put a bunch of ice blocks in this when we entered the room. They're gone.
Yeah.
They're fully gone.
You had like a lot of ice blocks
a lot of ice.
And it's just gone.
Oh.
We might melt to death during this podcast. But we do it for you, listeners. It's also the first time in a while where we're going to record and upload straight away.
I know.
So
yeah, we were almost ahead of it, like for a couple of weeks, and then I don't know, we got complacent for just a second, and it caught up with us
for just a second. It's the annoying thing about this podcast; it keeps happening. Anywho, let's get into it. This first one was by Goon I Us One Fonga. Don't know if that's meant to mean anything. But it was cross-posted to us by Avant Cardigan.
Is it Goon or Go On?
Oh no, let me read this again. Go on. Us One Fongo. Maybe. Yeah. Nothing really makes sense. Does it? Yeah. Anywho, yes, but cross-posted to us by Avant Cardigan. This was in the subreddit polls.
Okay. So that's just where people would take a picture of a pole. They see maybe holding a sign.
Yeah.
And then someone did a poll in that.
Someone did a poll in the subreddit polls, and they said, is the pole part of the sign?
Famously, yes.
It's split 50-50, because no one knows definitively. Anywho, no. So this is the poll.
Okay.
Which superpower would you want? Here are your options.
Yep.
Superman-style flight. Complete invisibility whenever you want. In brackets, affects clothes. That's important, I feel like. Because, sure, you could go around being a naked, invisible superhero or menace.
Yeah.
Menace. But it's just slightly more convenient if you don't have to get changed to do so. Number 3, control animals. In brackets, no humans or smaller than a fly.
Okay.
That's rough. I want to control bugs. Is it really that much of an advantage to control bugs that it has to be ruled out in this? Like, well, obviously, if you could control bugs, that would be the most overpowered superpower in the history of mankind. So we'll pull that out because as everybody knows, Ant-Man is actually the best superhero. So better rule that one out.
Yeah, and then I guess that also includes all fish, right? Like how do you fish is an animal?
Yeah, I'd include fish.
So
they haven't
therefore,
ruled out fish.
you've got all of Aquaman's abilities.
Yeah,
and then some.
But not the ants. Telekinesis. They've explained you can move stuff with your mind.
Yep.
That's what telekinesis is.
Yes.
You can materialize any item weighing less than 20 pounds once per day.
How much is 20 pounds in normal metrics?
Let me Google this.
Bing it.
How?
Nelson. You bing it.
I'm sorry, I'm binging it. How much is 20 pounds
in normal?
Damn it. I was really hoping that would work. In kilograms, 9
Okay.
kilograms.
9 kilograms.
Okay. I've realized I don't feel like I needed.
But 9 kilograms of gold per day is not nothing.
Yeah, but also be invisible and just steal everything.
But you always have, even though it'd be very hard, you always have the possibility that someone could catch you, right? Like they can use whatever evidence might present itself to finally catch you and charge you of that crime. But there's no crime in making gold materialize. It's literally free money. Or just 9 kilos of money.
What?
9 kilos of $100 notes.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's probably more than the gold is worth,
I think I've got mine locked in, but continue with the powers.
That's it. That was the last one.
Then the last one with the 9 kilos of 100.
The last one.
What's the biggest note in Australia? 500? Is there a $1,000 note?
No.
Okay, the 500s.
Is there even a $500 one?
I think there is. I don't think it's very common.
Yeah, it's like a special one. Yeah, something like that. Why are you doing Australian money, Canberra? US money is worth way more.
I mean, just for convenience for me. Like, if I'm in America, it'll be American money that day.
Yeah.
It's every day, Nelson. You don't understand. I'm doing this every day.
It's every day.
I'm not going to get money exchanged every day.
Yeah.
I'll just use the currency that where I am.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't even have to do it every day, would you?
What? Okay. Loophole.
Okay.
How much does a check weigh? Nothing. So you've got up to 9 kilos of checks, and the checks are for like $1 million, Nelson?
And from Donald Trump.
Sure. Yep.
Okay, if I can materialize it, then it exists.
Yeah.
His signature and everything.
Take $1 million from the top 1% and see if they notice.
That would be so good, actually. How would they notice? Here's the thing, Cambo, what you're going to get mixed up in is the IRS going to come for you.
That's why cash is king.
Oh, yeah, you just pay for everything. Hard to buy a house.
I know. Like,
yeah, with just I mean, you could do it, I suppose.
What does the IRS feel if you went into a bank with a big bag of money and said, I found this bag of money on the street?
Yeah. Well, I've always wondered that, right? Because I've heard that if you do find money or something, turn it into the police, and if nobody claims it, that's your money.
Yeah.
If they can't be like, oh, well, this is part of some drug thing, blah, 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 whatever, then it's just yours.
And if it's newly materialized money, they won't be able to track shit.
Yeah. How good do you reckon you have to be at materializing the thing? Because obviously money has serial numbers on it to keep track of everything.
Yeah. The magic takes care of that. Like,
Oh, I'm sorry, Cam. I didn't realize that this was so obvious. You would be the worst Green Lantern. You have to have a very clear picture in your mind, Cam.
Do a bridge. Do you know anything about the structure of bridges? The ring will take care of the structure of the bridge.
You've got the bridge going, or the kids that are coming out of the school bus that's on fire that need this bridge are halfway across before the bridge crumbles.
It just collapses in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't think I did enough structural support there.
I really should have thought about this better. Yeah, because I think you might run into trouble there. Try banking any of that or paying people, and the serial number is 0001. I think it's going to raise some eyebrows. Or it's worth more.
So I guess then I need to be clear in my materialization. So I say I want 9 kilos worth of $100 Australian notes with brand new and unique identifiable serial numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you clarify, then the magic takes care of it, Nelson.
But at what point does that... look,
I want it
it's
acceptable
brilliant.
by all
It's
stores.
brilliant.
What
I think it's... Look, I'm only trying to poke holes in it because otherwise this would be a boring show.
No, you don't
okay?
want you. I like to think that you don't want me to be disappointed with my new powers.
Yeah. I don't want you to get it and then be like, no, I should have thought about this earlier. And the whole time I was like, oh my God, I knew this flaw in the plan and I forgot to tell Cambo.
If you come to my house one day and I'm sitting upon a throne of stacked $100 bills crying,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, oh, they're useless.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
I knew why and I neglected to tell you. Oh, boy.
Anyway, I'm off flying.
Yeah. Okay, let's... yeah. Invisible, Cambo.
Okay.
You won't even know I'm there while I'm watching you cry. And I will not reveal myself because that's awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
You
Because
know?
you have to walk through the door to leave. So when I'm crying, I just hear...
Nelson, is that you? No.
And I'll just be sitting there and be like, I'm pretty sure Nelson was here.
Pretty it's Nelson.
Either that I'm going
watch me cry for a bit. And then left.
Because maybe you were like, oh, what I do is I'll be invisible and I'll surprise him. This will be fun. And you snuck in.
Yeah.
And then you came around the corner to me crying and you were like, oh no, I need to leave.
Yeah, this is awkward. Anyway, here's the problem.
Yeah.
You say new serial numbers, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say, just for example, they've started at 100. They're up to 100. They haven't printed serial number 101 yet.
Yep.
So you make 101 to whatever. Let's say 105. Do they then start printing 101? So there's two serial numbers that have the exact same serial number.
Yeah.
And then what? I feel like that could get you in a lot of trouble.
Well, you know what I said to that? First in, best dressed. I had it first.
The
The one they printed was invalid.
If they carbon dated the note,
Mine
they
would be
would
the
find
original.
that yours is the original
Yeah.
and they've got some phony one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is genius.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't need to bring this up. You won't be crying.
I
Heather.
have
You'll be
thought about it all.
you'll be crying tears of joy on your throne.
And wiping it with notes.
Yeah.
Our money's waterproof. I could do that.
You could do that. Here's the thing, though. Or you've gone to bed, wake up in the morning. Oh, where's all your notes gone? It was me. I was invisible the whole day. I took everything.
Yeah. I'm going to have some kind of... Okay, well, I'm going to keep my money in the open. I know what you're thinking. It's a crazy idea.
No, I'm thinking brilliant.
Booby trapped because I know how to disarm the booby traps.
Yeah.
But what they do is it shoots flour everywhere.
Oh, no.
So I'll see the form of you sneaking into my house covered in flour.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me know.
But maybe
Shouldn't have
that's a
done that,
decoy
you
booby trap.
Oh, no.
I'll never let
Just
you know
so-
what the real booby trap is.
You won't have to tell
The
me how
secret
many...
is there isn't one. Now you're just too scared.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, the one that he told me about was just sort of a funny thing where it reveals me. But what if the real one is an explosive and I die?
Because he could waste that money. He'll get it again tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, for one day you could materialize an explosive. You don't even have to go out and buy or anything.
yeah.
It's there. You got it.
What if...
Although if I know your imagination, it'll blow up as soon as it materializes.
What if I'm going to put some handcuffs on my own power here?
Okay.
What if I can materialize this money every single day, but it expires in 24 hours? So you just get lumps of cash that you have to spend that day.
Yeah.
So like you get it, you run down to the local thing, you're like, give me a new phone, a new TV.
Yeah. I go to the milk bar and get as many mix of lollies as I possibly can. That's where I'm going straight away. Anyway, I think that's basically it. Control animals is boring. Do you want to know? Okay. Do you want to know perhaps what people have voted on as the thing? Because this was in polls.
Yep.
581 people said they'd have the Superman Starflight.
Sure.
581 people are wrong, was what we've learned. 1.4K people have chosen the invisibility.
Okay.
203 people have chosen to control animals. they're even more wrong than the people who have chosen the Superman flight. That's boring.
Superman's
Let's be
flight,
honest,
at
that's
least I
boring.
get as a fun experience.
Yeah, it's
you
a
know?
bit fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
Convenient for interstate travel.
yeah. Yeah, that's right. You still can't go anywhere at the moment. You still need, like, you
the
know.
question is, you can fly like Superman. Does that incorporate the speed of Superman? Otherwise, you're flying at a normal speed. So interstate travel is actually probably off the cards.
Yeah.
That's several hours worth of pure flight.
It'll take you a while.
Where
Yeah.
because he goes up and then he shoots off.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, all these
Imagine
people are
you
going to be
can
disappointed.
only fly at the speed you can run.
But do you get as exhausted as you would if you were running?
There would need to be some kind of conversion.
Yeah, right.
Like you would eventually, like if you ran for ages, you get
needs to be energy conversion.
I don't think the ratio would be the same. Mm-hmm. If you ran 5Ks or if you flew 5Ks, hopefully that would be less energy.
Yeah. That's right. But yeah, that's all those people ridiculous. Control animals. If you got enough eagles together, do you think you could stand on them and fly anywhere?
You could probably steal more of my money with animals than you could being invisible. Because if you just send a pack of wolves at me every single night, I'll give you the money.
They set off the booby traps.
Yeah, just absolute. You could actually get canaries.
Yeah.
And send them into the metaphorical gold mine.
Yeah. Oh god, what an idiot I am. Yeah, because if I get caught being invisible, there's a trap. Yeah, I'm done for. If it's just an animal, I'd like to change my power.
Let's see him take on 5 grizzly bears.
Okay. 1.6 people have said telekinesis.
Okay. Yep.
Telekinesis is fine, but
Yeah.
it's kind of boring.
what-
I can move stuff with my hands, Kimber.
This is my thought. Is like, what would it do for you day to day? Because we always think the minute, don't we?
Yeah.
So day to day, what problem is that solving for you? You turn on the TV
Barely
with your
anything.
mind rather than pick up the remote. Like what?
Yeah.
What is it solving? I
So-
don't think it's solving much.
This is what I imagine. Is in the movie Bruce Almighty.
Yep.
He parts cars,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and
Yep.
he drives through in his really fancy car.
Yeah.
That I could imagine being one of the few telekinesis things that I would use. Just move everybody out of the road. But also super dangerous.
Yeah.
I don't want to kill anybody. Well,
Yeah.
you know. So
What about this as an
know.
option? You're on the couch, maybe you're playing a video game, maybe you're watching some TV.
yeah.
And that fridge opens itself, out comes a beer all by itself and comes straight to you rather than you having to get up.
Yeah.
Does that appeal to you?
One word, Cambo. Wolves.
No more needs to be said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I did think it was the stupidest, but turns out controlling animals is actually the most genius one out of all of them. You get everything. And then most people have actually chosen 1.9k. You can materialize any item.
They've thought of the money thing.
They've thought of the money thing. Yeah. If it couldn't be money or something that you could trade in from monetary value, what would you like? Do you think you would maybe still do that? Do you think that you could materialize enough? Because it would still kind of be great if you're like, I need a new shirt.
Yeah.
Materialize that. It's a bit nice.
I had to buy a new phone today. That cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
Weighs way less. I could have got a few of them.
Yeah.
Have some backups.
Yeah.
Would have given you one.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. So anything over 9 kilos. How much does a TV weigh, for example? I reckon they're probably
That would be more.
depends. The newer and thinner they get.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
harder it is to tell.
Yeah. If you could, see, this is where the imagination thing comes into it as to how accurate do you have to be. Because let's say in 10 years' time, there's a TV and it weighs 1 kilo, but it's gigantic. Oh, by the way, you could just do like a projector on a wall. Would totally be suitable. But, because then could you just be like, oh, that TV for the future that I don't really know exists? Because then if you don't, do you have to know the technology behind it? What do you have to know?
So it was 20 pounds is the limit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just Googled my own
Ping,
TV.
you binged it.
I binged it. What did you think I say?
Yeah, sorry.
Because I actually said bing the
I
whole time.
thought you said giggle, but
Yeah,
obviously
so
we didn't.
my TV is almost exactly double that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just get projector then.
Yeah.
Okay. Problem solved. Still that one, I guess.
What if you knew a mechanic
Mm-hmm.
and bit by bit you materialized parts of a car
Yeah.
and had the mechanic put it together?
Yeah. Go to the Tesla website
Yeah.
and
Show me bit by bit
look
how
at
to
all
do
their
this.
parts. Do you reckon there would be every bit would be under 40 pounds?
How's this, Nelson? Materialize the access key to a new car. And then you walk into the dealership and go, I think I parked my car here. Let me just...
I think I parked my car here.
I think I was pretty drunk. I think I parked it in the showroom. Let me check. Ting, ting. Oh, yeah, that one over there. That's the one I must have
This all
parked.
makes sense to you guys? Yeah. Cool. Makes sense to me too. Anyway, I'm out of here.
My name's Nelson Allingham.
Yep.
We
Genius.
should probably move on.
We should move on. Let's get into Ask Reddit.
Ask Reddit.
This Ask Reddit is by Kaleidoscope Inside. What happened to the idea of if you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything?
I don't think that idea ever actually took hold.
Did that idea ever actually take off? Never,
No.
Cambo.
People aren't less or more rude than they've ever been.
Yeah.
There's just, I guess, more ways to do it.
Yeah.
That's all the difference is.
I thought this was so funny because I was like, surely nobody's actually thought that worked once. You know? Like,
I mean, just look back at Salem.
yeah.
If that was if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all, so many young women wouldn't have been burnt alive.
Yeah, it just seems like a very weird thing to be like, I thought this was like a thing
Yeah.
that everybody
Yeah, didn't we all agree on this?
Didn't we agree that if we didn't have anything nice to say, we wouldn't say anything at all, and that would be it? That's yeah.
It's one of those things as well. I always think this when people are like, oh, when I was young, things were better. It's like, no, you were stupider.
Yeah.
Things were always pretty bad. You were more naive about it. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
Oh, in the 70s, there was no problems. It was way more racist. I guarantee you. It was way more racist.
Yeah. Depends who you're talking about specifically.
Music was better. You were younger and you had more of your life ahead of you. Everything seemed better.
Yeah. Anyway, I have nothing else to say other than
Okay. Indeed, that never happened.
that's
They're
not
living in a
thing.
fantasy.
It's living in a fantasy world. Here's another one. This is by The Real R&I Ray. What is one experience you think every single human should have?
I would say, you know what? This is one of those rare things that so few people have been able to experience.
Yeah.
But I do legitimately think it will enrich people's lives. If you click the top link in our description, it'll take you to a Redbubble store. And you can purchase an official Reddit on Reddit t-shirt.
Yeah.
And it's Nirvana.
Here's the thing.
You will reach Nirvana.
You can't prove that's not until you've done it.
Yeah.
And also no refunds.
No,
So,
no.
That's just like a separate.
talking
It's
about
just like a
refunds?
separate thing that I've added on top of this. But
in
it's,
fact, one of the
do it.
worst experiences you'll ever have
yeah.
getting a refund for that shirt.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That would be the worst.
In all seriousness, it's working in customer service, like
Oh yeah, that's really good.
like some kind of retail customer-facing job,
Yeah.
because based on people's interactions with staff, I think it's very evident who has and who hasn't worked those kind of jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry for the wait. Oh, not a problem. Or oh, you should be.
Yeah.
Two different kinds of people. One, you're like, I've been there. I know exactly what you're going through, and I know
Yeah.
it's not your fault.
Yeah. The idea that, I saw on the Melbourne subreddit not that long ago about somebody saying, hey, stop yelling at the people trying to stock the shelves in your local supermarket. They don't control the stock.
stock, yeah.
So,
I know they are called stockists, and that's confusing.
yeah.
But they do not control the stock.
Yeah. You see them put the stuff on the shelf and you're like, just do more of that.
Go to wherever you're getting it and get more.
Go to the stock place, get the stock, put it on the shelves of the thing that I want. And you just like those people don't understand at all, and it's nuts. But that's a really good one, I think, because I think absolutely everybody can benefit from that.
Yeah.
What if, let's say, there's an experience that hardly anybody has, that if we all had this experience, we would be more, we would be better off. Society would be better off, right? So let's say everybody has the experience of just being super rich.
Okay.
Like a billionaire.
Yep.
Because that would be interesting to see. And probably the opposite should happen more so.
Yeah, right.
Which is that you should experience being super poor.
Yeah. Live paycheck to paycheck for a while.
Yeah. But I think both ways that'd be really interesting, right? Which obviously would never happen and you can't actually do. But just in the hypothetical world, I think it would be so interesting to actually put yourselves in the shoes of either a billionaire or somebody that's really poor and sort of understand the life that you experience. Because I think for one, there would be this understanding of, perhaps an understanding of, if you were really rich, you would understand that it can, it sort of depends who you are as well, maybe. But I was going to say it sort of takes a lot.
Yeah.
And the idea that I think a lot of people have at the moment is I could be a billionaire one day or a millionaire at the very least, right? Because we see it quite often where there'll be something that's voted on. People have opinions and they're like, don't be so mean to the millionaires and the billionaires of the world because I might be that person one day. I mean, a big thing is like universal healthcare, right?
Yeah.
Because the idea is like, oh, well, I don't want to have to pay for somebody else. But you're only that person when you are the rich billionaire, because otherwise you're the majority that will benefit from this. So you can't obviously think of anything else other than being that person. And I think you might actually understand maybe the idea of like, well, I will never be this rich in my life. If you have the experience of being rich and then you go back to being yourself, I feel like you'd be like, oh, I'm just like never going to get there.
Yeah.
Like there is so much involved in having this much money. And
I also wonder if it will become more evident. I feel like a lot of the idea that people have of really rich people is that they just have a bank account full of money.
Yeah.
Where, as far as I understand, a lot of wealthy people, their money is in things.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of assets that are worth a lot of money, and they probably do have a bank account with a bunch of money in it, but it's not like they've got $10 billion in a bank account.
And there's also...
They've got liquidation in companies. They've got properties. They've got whatever. So they're probably not as like cash rich as people all sorts of.
I actually... there's a sort of famous, I think, quote that Trump said, and this was years before he was ever in the political sphere.
It's about grabbing the women.
Yeah. That bit. Yeah.
Oh, let's see how you tie this in.
No, he apparently like, and however much of this is exaggerated, not true, don't know. But he apparently like gave some money to a beggar on the street and said to somebody.
Already sounds false, but go on.
yeah. And said,
to his daughter. It's to his daughter. He said this.
Right. That person has more money than I do.
Yeah.
Because he is in so much debt.
Yeah.
It's like the wealth isn't. The wealth is like metaphorical.
Yeah. It's this weird bullshit fake thing.
Yeah.
Where everyone's just accepted he's rich.
Yeah.
Even though it's all debt.
But it's like it's debt and it's investments in things and it's huge risks that normal people would just never take, sort of thing. And he's got a foundation of probably things where if it goes wrong, he can back the F out of it.
He can escape. Yeah.
Because it's just, I think it just takes so much to actually be that wealthy and that, like a billionaire or millionaire in that sense. It might be a bit different if you're somebody like, I don't know, Bezos, who could probably at this point, sit down and just do nothing.
Yeah, just take a weekend off, go to space.
Yeah. But But yeah, I don't know. I just think
Or
it's
the child of an insanely wealthy person, which I think are the people that are the worst in that because they didn't work really hard for it.
yeah. And see, those people need to experience what it's like to be super poor.
Yeah.
Get everybody to do that. That'd be interesting. I think it would be if just overnight everybody had the experiences of both ends of the spectrum. I think universal income and whatever would just like happen overnight. We would just all of a sudden, everybody would just get the same amount of money. And you'd be like, okay, let's live life this way now where we'd become communist. That's what I'm vouching for. Socialist, yeah. Anywho, any other experiences? Roller coasters are pretty good.
Roller coasters with 2 loops.
Oh,
I know.
no, I bet you there's people out there to be like, yeah, I've done a roller coaster with a loop. Yeah, but have you done a roller coaster with 2 loops?
Yeah, there was one. I think it was in one of the Queensland theme parks. You had the 2 loops back to back.
Yeah,
You go over one loop, like I'm glad that loop's over.
yeah.
Surprise, there's another loop.
There's another loop. You have not lived until you've done a 2-loop roller coaster. That's all we're saying. Anywho, let's move on and get into Today I Advice. So now it's time for Today I Learned. What are Today I Learned. And also sometimes advice. This advice is by Iron-Blooded Eagle. How can I create a foolproof way to wake up? Hi. I have a very difficult to manage sleep disorder. My goal is, I think we should just ignore that as part of the advice thing, just by the way. Yeah. We don't want to get too technical or medical because the funny thing is, people might think we're not qualified, but we're actually too qualified. So we'll just keep it lighthearted and ignore that medical stuff. My goal is to sleep 8 hours. So I set my alarm for 8 hours out. The issue is that when I wake up, I'm in such a daze that I disable my alarm and go back to sleep. Sometimes upwards of 4 to 6 more hours. I want to wake up at a certain time, but I'm in such a daze when I wake up, I can't make decisions to stay up and go back to sleep. Things I have tried. Moving my alarm clock to another room.
Yep.
Well, then you won't hear it. Silly. Using a puzzle alarm clock app. Usually they aren't long enough to get me awake. Setting my coffee maker to brew when I wake up. I almost need an activity, 100% foolproof, impossible to disable, that forces me to stay up for 10 minutes to get me out of the daze. Any ideas?
Have a kid.
Have a kid. Oh.
I know a couple of new parents.
Yeah.
They're not sleeping much.
Yeah.
So it might not help the 8 hours. But there is no, you can't stop that alarm, you know what I mean? You've got to get up and check that kid.
And funnily enough, I have a few friends who've told me they were only born to serve as an alarm for their parents. That was why they came into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's want a baby to start a family, accident, and then what an alarm clock. That's the 3 reasons why people have kids.
Yeah. Here's my mechanism. Because it's all about getting out of bed, I feel. Is you set a contraption on the roof.
Oh, okay.
That when you set your alarm, it starts lowering.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
And in 8 hours and 10 minutes, you'll be crushed to death.
Oh.
So you wake up 8 hours, you've got 10 minutes to get out of bed.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that is great. But see, I also enjoy the idea of a snooze a little bit as well. This is what I think you should do. I like your idea of just impending doom.
Yeah.
You know. Although this is what I imagine would happen to me, right? The thing is lowering down the, I don't know, concrete blocks or whatever. And I'd be like, I'll just wait till I can just slide out. And then I might actually oh no, okay. I'm stuck. Okay, this is what I'm thinking. You have a revolver gun that's aimed just above your head.
Yeah.
And it goes off when your alarm first goes off. Shoots above your head. You're like, oh my God, wakes you up. But you're like, but I still want to snooze because I like a good snooze. So you press the snooze button. It revolves the chamber once and cocks the gun and angles the gun just ever so slightly down.
Yeah.
You do that 5 more times, Campo. You're a dead man.
No. The problem is I would keep scurrying lower down the bed. I'd hit snooze and I'd shift down the bed.
Yeah.
And then I'd hit snooze and I'd shift down the bed. And eventually I guess I would get out of the bed that way.
You would need
I got an extra hour in it though.
You would need like an Uzi, It couldn't be a revolver with a few shots. You need something that's got like a huge chamber.
Yeah. Or if it's like a queen bed, roll to the other side of the bed.
Yeah, that's good. I forgot to say, you're also chained in. Wait, how do you get up then? There's also a puzzle app alarm as well that you have to.
So I guess the alarm in the other room, the one I did is not in the other room, but like just the other side of the room. So you don't have to leave the room. I've tried it like on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
But like once you're up, I guess you just turn it off and then go back to bed.
I think this guy is probably saying he's still in such a daze that he might turn it off. The other side of the room, turn it off, and then go back into bed.
Right. Okay.
But I think the key is to be uncomfortable, right? At some point. We've already said being uncomfortable with the thought of death.
Yeah.
That's a strong start.
It's a biggie.
But otherwise, I think like something that really annoys me is if you're wearing like PJs or something, and if you get kind of like your ankles wet while wearing clothes, there's something just so uncomfortable about that.
Yeah.
I hate that. So I think you should have buckets of water on the ground, and over the other side of the room is the alarm. So you have to get up, step in the buckets of water, turn off the alarm. You can go back to bed, but you can be like, ugh, I'm so wet right now.
I do think that water is a key here. One thing I actually do if I need to be up early is I drink as soon as I wake up, I drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
And it actually does it kind of like kickstarts your metabolism, I suppose. And I find it actually helps you get out of the day. So I have this 800 ml bottle next to me.
Yep.
And I'll scull that whole 800 mils like when I wake up, or as much of it as I can kind of stomach at the time.
Yep.
And then it kind of it almost makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's slushing around your stomach. The last thing you want to do is lie down and go to sleep.
Yeah.
That actually helps me. But if you get quick dry sheets, could you have a bucket of water tip on you every morning?
Yeah.
Because then, you give it half an hour. The sheets will be dry. You can go sleep in there the next night.
Yeah.
But you will be wet.
Okay. Do quick dry sheets exist, or do we have to invent this?
We'll look into this.
Okay.
We'll look into this and get back.
Hey, Cam, it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Let's have quick dry everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's make quick dry.
I agree.
Whatever.
It annoys me sometimes when I do washing and I've got gym clothes and normal clothes, and my gym clothes just dry so quickly.
Yeah.
When I put them out, and I'm like, I look at my regular clothes and go, "You sons of bitches."
Cambo, you need quick dry clothes.
I know. And bed sheets.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay. Yeah, I think a bucket of water is a pretty good one. The problem is sometimes the contraptions as well. Okay, how about this though? Because I think sometimes now I'll wake up, and this blows my mind. This happens. I know it happens to a lot of people. Well, I'll end up waking up like 10 minutes before my alarm.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe that your body
does that. Yeah,
it has a clock.
I have
in
this
it,
uncanny ability to do it 1 minute before.
Yeah, that's like
It's always 1 minute. Like my body apparently is quite finely tuned when it wants to be.
Yeah. See, that's funny. I don't think mine's kind of a bit random, but I would say most of the time I wake up before my alarm.
Yeah.
I think you should hire somebody, and they sit in your room, and when your alarm goes off, they have a baseball bat. And first they put a yellow pages on you.
Yeah.
So to avoid bruising, because they don't want to get to court. They're already a convicted felon, by the way. This is how you hire these people.
That's how they knew about the yellow page.
Yeah. And they smack that on your stomach or whatever. and then you would wake up. If somebody's like hitting you, you'd freaking wake up.
Yeah.
So I think after enough times of that, being paranoid, I reckon your body would be like, I'm getting up before this happens.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like, you just scare the shit out of your
Yeah.
body into being like, yep, this is happening. I'm going to get beaten up unless I wake up before the alarm.
I think what happens as well is it's a gradual thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then the guy, he's not there every night anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe he's there, maybe he's not, and your body's too paranoid. And it'll wake up anyway.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. He's at somebody else's house doing the same thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They didn't hire him. He's a convicted criminal.
He's a criminal. We needed to explain this to everybody. He doesn't use the yellow pages there. His bat has a spike in it for that person. Yeah, so problem solved. It's not often that we solve problems.
I think we solve every problem that comes to us, actually.
You know what? I take that back. We solve every problem, and this is just another one. Tick that off the list. Should I do...
I wouldn't advise it.
All right, let's get into shower thoughts.
Shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, 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 shower thoughts, thoughts, thoughts.
This shower thought is by Jesse B342. Forget glass half full, half empty. Whether they hit the gas or the brake when coming up on a yellow light is the real indicator of someone's personality.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
This is good. This is good.
This is a good one. Although sometimes you have to catch me in the right mood. I would say I'm most of the time a breaker.
Me too, yeah.
But sometimes I want to get through.
It depends, and I don't know what the proximity is, but my brain has an inbuilt proximity sensor
Yeah, okay.
that determines whether or not I go or stay. And I just think, like, everybody obviously has that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to know how calibrated to the white line it is.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
Mine's
It's
a
really
car's length.
Right. A car's
'Cause
length.
in-
What? No way. Mine would be way more than that.
In my mind, they're like, they adjust this for an extra car. You know what I mean?
Oh, mine would be well before. Wait, so you would say you're a car's length from the white line, and the light goes yellow, and you brake? Is that what you're saying?
No, I wouldn't brake then.
You wouldn't brake.
But if I was 2 cars length,
Oh, so 2 cars length is
I
a
would
brake.
brake.
So car and a half. See, the problem is with everybody is there's the bit in between.
Yeah.
It's like there's a time where you're like, yep, definitely easy accelerate, or a time where definitely easy brake.
Yeah.
But it's the portion in the middle that I think this person is referring to, the characteristic, the personality, you know?
Yep. How much does it determine your decision on? So let's say it's a big cross intersection, right? That's the most common example of this.
Yeah.
So not many cars in front of you necessarily, but a lot of cars about to start going the other way.
See, at that point, I think it's actually fine to speed up. The worst part is where there's no cars there. You can't see any cars waiting, because then they might go through at full speed through a green, like a light that's just gone red to green.
Yeah.
And that's when you're at most risk. Like you could, in most intersections where there's cars lined up at every sort of crossroad, you could start going through when the light turns from yellow to red and probably be fine, because everybody is starting to just, cross. It's the intersections that are more deserted. And you're like, somebody could be coming at 100 kilometers an hour the opposite way, and they don't slow down. So that's the risk, I think.
Okay.
These are all the calculations going into my head. But I start to calculate them, and by then
you're
I've
through the
gone
line.
through. Yeah. I've been in a huge accident. But yeah, I think that probably is a indicator. I reckon you could definitely, if you did a study on this, you could separate those groups obviously into the breakers and into the accelerators of that rough kind of point where everybody's not quite sure what to do.
Yep.
And I reckon you could also put those 2 people, I'm not sure what group, but in their own groups as well. They would fit snugly into another type of group,
I would say on the accelerating through an orange, I would say the section of the road where that is most seen as just a real rough guide is turning lanes. So if you've got a green arrow
Yeah.
and then the green arrow goes yellow and then eventually off,
Yeah.
you normally get about 3 extra cars through there. They're like,
We can make it. We can make it. Yeah, that is true. Actually, people accelerate way more through an arrow. I think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I hate? Just as a bit of a side tangent, is I imagine it's most places, but I'm going to say when you're turning. So for us, you're turning right through an intersection, or I guess if you're in the States, when you're turning left, you're sort of going across a lane.
Right.
In Australia, if there's no green arrow, then you can go at any time so long as it's not a red arrow.
Yeah.
Right? It's clear to go. So there'll be a straight green light, and so you can make your way into the intersection, and when it's safe to turn, you can kind of complete that turn. Yeah. I imagine that's in some other places around the world as well. But what I think a lot of people don't know is that if you're in the intersection, you've gone through, the light isn't red, it's kind of safe to make your way halfway into the intersection to wait to complete your turn. People turning panic that, oh, what if the light goes red and I'm still in the middle of the intersection?
You're all good.
It's totally legal. If the light ends up going red and you're in the middle of the intersection,
You've started the turn.
You can then finish it.
Yeah.
But what so many people do is they cut off people that are going straight through the like yellow light because they're like, oh, don't want to be in the middle of the intersection when it's red. I've seen so many accidents almost happen.
Yeah.
I can't remember a time where it's actually happened, but where it's like the person turning is just like panicking way too much and they don't understand that it's like, you can keep going there. It just annoys me. I see it so often. I'm surprised there aren't way more accidents.
If you're scared about being pulled over by the cops, they'll pull you over more for what you're doing than if you had waited.
Yeah, that's right. Anywho, here's another one. This by Henna. Maybe superheroes wear capes to hide the zipper on the back of their onesie.
You know what I always enjoy in a superhero movie is if I see behind the scenes about how their suits actually do up.
Yeah.
Because it's never, I would say, how you expect it to be done up.
Right.
So a good example is Captain America's suit. Seems like, I don't know, like a jumpsuit kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I've seen pictures where the whole front part is actually just a detachable vest.
Right.
Because he needs to breathe. Like, it gets really hot, so he just detaches his vest.
Right.
And it's like a see-through mesh.
Right.
And I'm always like, oh, it's interesting. I never would have pictured that as how it's done up. Because it looks so seamless once it's all done up.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, Spider-Man has things, like, under his arms that he undoes.
Right.
To help get out. I was like, under the arms, that's a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
It's a good spot. Yeah.
That's why neither of those have capes.
Yeah. He can hide them
Batman,
effectively.
zip at the back. Otherwise, capes, I've never thought about it really before, but capes do seem like such a weird thing to have for a superhero.
Yeah, I want to know where the cape came from because I know a lot of the original superhero get-up, especially like people always say, why does Superman have his underwear on the outside?
Yeah.
It's because he was dressed like a strongman. And you think of those like Victorian strongmen, they've got the spandex and the little, it's not actually underwear, but it's like a little garter belt in the thing, and he's got the cuffs around his wrist. That's Superman. Like, he was just dressed like a strongman, and it just became the superhero thing.
Yeah.
But capes aren't necessarily part of that image. But I guarantee you it will be brought from something like that.
Yeah.
Something that was drawn inside. Like Batman essentially is just the character Zorro, right? He's like this rich guy, parents died, goes to a cave underneath his mansion kind of thing. He's Zorro.
Yeah.
And a lot of Batman's iconography, the bat symbol and the Z, all that kind of stuff, is just taken from Zorro. Yeah. So maybe he's got a cape because Zorro had a cape, but why did Zorro have a cape? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I wonder where it originates.
Yeah, there must be some... Because obviously capes were like just a thing.
Yeah.
Before they were a superhero thing.
I wonder if it's, again, a lot of like pulp heroes like the Phantom and Batman and Zorro, they were always depicted just as like super rich guys. Like the archetype of superhero was like super rich guy, lives in a mansion, fights crime.
Yep.
And I wonder whether it was just the time, like the 20s and 30s, where capes were kind of high society,
man's
rich
thing.
man's thing, whether that has anything to do with it. And then again, like the strongman outfit, it just became like a
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because there's also this sort of idea that I think capes can, like, I think about, like, Phantom of the Opera, like,
Yeah.
cape can hide your identity a
Yeah.
little bit, which obviously they don't really do because it's like, well, they've normally at least got a mask as well. But maybe it's even that element where it's like, well, they can hide their face if they needed to.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, like a
don't know.
mysterious element. And then you even think of like pictures of, I say pictures, I mean artist renderings of like Roman soldiers, and they might have like a red cape draped over them. and
Oh,
stuff like
that's
that.
actually a really good point.
So
Yeah,
does that have anything to do with it? And why
Yeah.
are they wearing them?
Why are the Roman soldiers wearing capes?
I don't know.
That's the real question.
Maybe no one knows why anyone wears capes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just lost the history.
There was just like this long line because when they were like designing the capes for the Roman soldiers, they were like, oh yeah, I saw some like cavemen drawings where they're
They had
wearing
something like
capes.
this, yeah.
And I thought that would be nice.
And then someone there was like, but why did the cavemen wear capes?
Yeah. And their explanation is ooga booga booga.
Yeah.
I'll do one more. This is by T.Y. Smiley. Paper doesn't get enough credit as the most important invention ever. It's not a bad observation.
Would you say paper is as important as the invention of like an ink to write on paper as well? Because one without the other, essentially just making paper airplanes at that point. Like the implementation to write or draw or what have you on paper.
Well, presumably, I guess then ink probably came first, right?
Yeah, and you're writing on
Like
parchments and
mud
on
the cave walls.
Yeah.
Back to the Ooga Booga Man.
Yeah.
And
in his cape.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe we don't give enough credit to
Because
that.
if you invented paper, but you literally had no way to put anything on paper,
Yeah.
people would be like, why have you done this?
Be like, because one day somebody will be able to invent like a thing that we can like put on there. Like, you know how we speak words? Yeah. But like not, just imagine like you're not speaking them. You know, like if you didn't speak them and they were like on this bit of paper. But how? But, you know, just like words, but not really.
It's funny that you phrase it that way, because I do now fully imagine that, like when any new technology comes out, when books came out, people were definitely like, what, you can't talk?
Yeah.
Why can't you just tell a story?
Yeah.
Why
I
do you
go
need
to
it-
a play and they...
Yeah. Why do you need it written down? This seems unnecessary.
That's true. Oh man, I wish I could. I would love to be part of those conversations for the most like common,
Yeah.
inventions.
Cars, I'm sure, were the same.
Yeah.
But you can't walk,
definitely.
can't get a horse. What do you need a car for? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I think the argument for cars was about the fuel and the idea of like, well, horses can go forever, sort of
Yeah.
thing. But a car can, not go that far. Yeah. Anywho, we should get into podnapping campaign.
Oh my God! I'm being
Podnapping.
This is Podnapping, where we nap a pod. We take a topic of conversation or a segment from another thing, and we do it ourselves. It's my week this week, and this is not my super good one. I warned listeners not that long ago that I've got a super good one. This isn't it.
Yeah.
I also just want to lower expectations. Maybe my next one will be. Who knows? Anyway, so this one is called The World's Easiest Quiz.
Great. I love the sound of it.
I found it by binging certain keywords. But surprisingly, turns out it's from an Australian radio show.
Oh, great.
From Kiss FM, somebody in Woody. Isn't that
It's
such an
somebody
Australian-
in Woody in the morning.
Somebody in Woody. Woody in the morning. So...
Just, by the way, when we were away a couple of weekends ago, we were with a big group of people and we all had to decide what our radio names would be.
Yeah.
And I feel like you came up with one that no one was expecting.
Yeah.
What was yours again?
Sunny.
Sunny.
Because my name, Nelson, doesn't really have a good... Like, Nels is kind of like the best nickname. It doesn't lend itself to a nickname.
So you leaned into the sun part of the
So I was like, if I'm going full ham
Yeah.
on what that would be, I feel like it would have to be Sunny.
Yeah. Boringly, mine was already my name. Everyone's just like, you would be Cambo. That is
Yeah.
like that's like a radio.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got that already. Yeah. Otherwise, what radio name? Here's a challenge to listeners. What my radio name would be?
Well, mine
It's
could,
not Sunny.
If yours was Sunny, I could go MC. Sunny and MC sounds like a radio duo, I think.
Yeah. But we should be MC and Sunny in the morning.
Yeah.
Is it Sunny in the morning?
Yeah. Clever.
I'm here all day, Cambo. Oh yeah, I'm here all day. I'm at your place.
So-
Just by the way, I'm not going home. Till the end.
That's fine.
Uh,
But this is from Something in Woody.
this is
on
from
Kiss FM.
somebody and Woody. Will? Might be Will.
Will and Woody?
Will and Woody. That has a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
If it's not, they should change their name to that.
Or MC and Sunny is available.
At the moment,
If
getting
you-
quick though.
if you are indeed in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, you could be in the afternoon, not at night though.
Yeah.
Don't be ridiculous. You can't be MC and Sunny at night.
Do a midday shift.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh my god. Anywho,
Yes.
oh, this thing, world's easiest quiz.
Yep.
It's kind of as it sounds. I've come up with 10 questions. They're super or should be super easy for you to answer. You have 30 seconds to answer them.
Okay.
We've got some music to go along with it.
Yep.
And that's
So
basically
I need to
it.
get as many of the 10 in 30 seconds as I can.
Yes.
Okay.
Also, I did say to you earlier, but I feel like I should let the listeners know, there is a chance Canberra gets these really fast, and we'll just have to wait out the rest of the time.
I'd say if you're listening at home, expect that.
Expect
Get those expectations high
Oh,
for
yeah.
my performance here.
Canberra is going to do very well.
I think I've set it up perfectly.
Okay, so here, I've got 2 sets of 10 questions.
Yep. Sure.
Because this would be the shortest podnapping ever. 2 sets of 30 seconds. That's
Okay.
only a minute. Anyway, okay. Ready? Okay. How many toenails do you have?
10.
Halloween is in what month?
October.
Are you a dog?
No.
What episode number are we up to?
275? 4? 6. I
I
pass.
passed. What's 7 plus 8?
15.
Well, who is the president of the United States?
Joe Biden.
What do you put in a toaster?
Bread.
What sound does a cat make?
Meow.
What was the last thing you watched on Netflix?
What was the last thing I watched on Netflix? I don't remember.
Oh. Well, that one would have got you. I
Yeah.
guess.
It would have got me. What was it?
Well, you've failed miserably.
I counted 7.
I think we got up to 9.
But I passed 1 and I didn't know Netflix.
No, yeah, I think that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we got to 9. I'm pretty sure. Did I say what sound does a cat make?
Yes.
Did you get that one?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That was we got up to 9.
Okay. That is more stressful than
Then you would think,
than you think
right?
it's going to be. Yeah.
Easy questions.
Yeah.
I like that. Also, I've thrown in a math one.
Yeah.
Because your mind is like, I think this is like,
I had to stop for that one.
yeah, brain gymnastics,
Yeah.
right? You know the answer. It's easier. But you've gone from like random stuff to like, oh, I've got to just make my
A bit of
brain do this
calculation,
little
yeah.
thing, you know? Anyway, you did pretty well. The last one was righty, tighty, lefty.
Lucy.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
But what was the last thing I watched on Netflix? I honestly cannot think of it.
Well, you've failed. That was meant to be one of the
I
easy
know.
ones where you don't. It doesn't matter what you say. You could have said anything, Gambit.
I watched Amazon Prime today. I could have told you that.
Did you watch Afterlife? Any
No,
of Afterlife?
no.
Oh. It's a good TV show. People should watch it.
Yes, I watched the first series of that many years ago, and I thought that was okay. And then the rest came out, and I went, "Oh yeah."
I think it's so funny because I totally see
Yeah.
how people don't like that TV show.
I did not like it, but it's one of those things where I've always just assumed I'll get there. I'll get there.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what it was. I watched The Power of the Dog on Netflix.
Oh yes, that old chestnut.
Or New Chestnut, as it were.
Joe. Okay, ready for your next round, Cameron?
Yes.
This one,
Yep.
just get it right.
Okay.
I'll also give you a warning.
Yep.
There is a math one towards the end.
Okay.
Okay, so get ready to switch your brain.
I look forward to panicking then.
Okay. Ready, set, go. Say a word that begins with T.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
What color is grass?
Green.
What is the name of this podcast?
You read it on Reddit.
If you were stranded on a desert island, name one item you would take.
A lifeboat.
Name an animal that can fly.
Tyrannosaurus Rex with wings. A bird.
Yes or no?
Yes.
What is 100 minus 49?
51.
Have you had any water today?
Yes.
How many questions have I asked?
7. 6. 8.
9, Kevin. We're on the 9th question. Last one. Can you name a state of Australia?
Nah. Northern
would've been
Territory.
fine.
Oh, it's the only one that's not.
No, that one was meant to be a trick question. You didn't get up to. Can you name a state of Australia? Yes.
Was the toaster one a trick one? What do you put in a
Sort
toaster?
of. Like,
Because I almost said toast.
that one's meant to be, like, you're meant to get people to say toast, 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 toast.
yeah.
What do you put on toast? Then, or something like that.
Yeah.
But yes. Anywho, you did pretty well. You were so close. I think it's funny as well because the first time, listeners won't know this, but the first time you were counting on your fingers as to what question you're up to. And the second time when that was relevant, you stopped counting.
I stopped. Because I was like, that wasn't relevant.
That didn't come into this at all. Yeah.
That's quite fun. I enjoy that.
I should have done more.
Yeah.
Because
We're
that's it.
we're not about going above and beyond. We're about getting it out.
Yeah, it's one of those things though where it's surprisingly annoying to create really easy questions because I was like, they need to be easy but also not super easy.
Yeah.
Or not like, I don't know. They just thinking up of easy questions I think is more difficult than anybody gives it thought of.
Yeah.
Maybe I could do that one again in future.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah,
It was
I think it's fun. And I can shoot it straight back at you.
All right. We can move on to the Ask Me Anything, where listeners of the show, just like you, listener, can write in and ask us anything you want.
Got one here from Liz. Says, gentlemen, all the way back on episode 75, you were talking about what to do when you have no toilet paper in a public toilet. 2 funny stories. One happened to me and one happened to my roommate at the time. Both of us were present for both times. We just got our keys to our new apartment. Go in and use the bathroom, and there is no toilet paper. We had no anything except a phone book and the words, "Do you want white pages or yellow pages?" have been yellow. Took our dog to a dog park.
Whoa.
So,
Liz, did you use white pages or yellow pages? Please get back to us.
yeah. I would have gone yellow because for some reason white seems like,
I would have gone white.
well, white I feel like shows more of the damage. You know what I mean? Yellow might disguise it. So I just like in my mind, because it's not toilet paper, you want to seem less messy. I don't know.
I don't know why, but for some reason I thought, even though they're probably the exact same, I just thought the white pages were slightly thicker than yellow pages.
Oh, right.
Was
Okay.
my thinking, but I don't know if that's true. They're probably the same. Anyway.
And they probably don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So this is the second account. Took our dog to a dog park. It was about 20 minutes away and we left way later than we wanted to, so we got hit with all sorts of traffic. As we were getting into the car, there was a suddenly an uncontrollable urge to poop and it was dark. So a human shit may have been taken in a dog park behind a tree. Liz,
No one's going to know.
Liz, get back to us about whether it was.
Yeah.
Please confirm.
Yeah. You haven't told us exactly and we're confused.
AMA to round it out. What's your last screenshot and your last picture on your phone? My screenshot is my Reddit Secret Santa, and my photo was a picture of Battleship that my son was convinced I was cheating with, but he was just barely missing my boats. Liz.
I actually forgot to attach this. Sorry, Camber. I don't know if you can see on the email there if you're reading from this, but Liz has attached his photo, and oh my God, he has the worst luck, Liz's son, because he's literally hit. He got like one boat,
Uh-huh.
and then everywhere else he's just missed. And there's so many guesses. Oh, feels horrible. Anywho, okay, last screenshot and last picture on my phone. Last picture on my phone. I'll tell you the last video because that's actually the last thing. We were at a wedding recently, and I have a video that goes for 2 minutes and 17 seconds of my girlfriend playing like a large version of Jenga, a lawn game Jenga version. And I got to tell you, nothing interesting happens in that one. I thought it was going to fall. And I'll probably never watch that video ever again.
Oh, well, that's good.
And then there's actually some other photos of just her pulling out bricks.
Right. What's your screenshot?
My screenshot is... sorry, I have to go to a different folder, I think, for this one. Oh, here we go. Screenshot. It is... Oh, my friend gave me a tip-off for some RATS tests. The rapid antigen tests.
Yeah.
That were available at a store close to where I live. I was at the tennis at the time, so I took a screenshot and sent it to my girlfriend, who happened to be at my house, and I said, in case you can be bothered, here's the info. Did not get any RATS test.
Fair enough. My last screenshot is a meme. I screenshotted.
Oh, yes.
It's to do with the movie Spider-Man No Way Home. There's a picture of Green Goblin from that movie.
Yeah.
And the caption says, "This man, Norman Osborn, woke up in a different universe and immediately started ruining some kid's life. That's my goat." That's pretty funny. I sent that onto a nerd-related group chat that I'm in.
Not surprised.
And the last image I took was some barbecue that Stacey and I ate while we were away.
Why wasn't I invited?
Well, we wanted
Did
to
you
enjoy
not take
ourselves.
any photos at the wedding?
No.
Okay.
Didn't do.
Went to a lovely wedding, by the
Photos
way.
of me were taken,
Yeah.
and they're not on my phone. I'm lying. I was going to say I have them. I don't, apparently.
Yeah, you don't have them at all. Anyway,
Well,
that was good.
they did mention, and this is something I actually appreciate at a wedding, that they said at the start, it's a bit of an unplugged wedding. So we've got a photographer, we've got a videographer, so don't worry too much about, they'll be capturing stuff. And actually, that's one of my favorite things at a wedding.
Yeah.
Is if they're like, don't worry about capturing it, it'll be captured. Especially I've had where they said also, we don't want the first photo of the bride, for instance, to be like someone's iPhone photo from the back of the thing.
Yeah.
We'd rather a very nice photo. So please,
Yeah.
if you take them, just kind of keep them to yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But now when I go to weddings, I always just assume that stuff will be captured. So
Yeah.
I generally just don't use my phone at all.
Well, it's funny that you say that because they did. Oh, well, yeah. I think that they were as well talking about the ceremony specifically.
Yes, they were.
Because
yeah.
then when we got to the reception, there was here's a challenge you can do
Yeah.
with taking photos of you and the bride and groom
And use the hashtag,
using the
yeah.
hashtag.
Yeah.
So,
But I just mean in general, my thing at weddings now is
yeah.
everyone's taking photos.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
Yeah. I don't think I would care with the whole camera thing. This is the only reason why I would be don't want anybody to take photos during the ceremony is because my mother is the effing worst when it comes to anything remote that is happening that's remotely interesting. My mum would be like, have to get out the camera for this.
Yeah.
I can be certain that my mum would be sitting in the front row of my wedding with her phone out and zooming in and taking photos.
Yeah.
I'd be like, just for her benefit, I'm going to say no photos at the wedding because otherwise she would.
Well, see, I totally respect the idea of, hey, be here. Be here in the moment. This is a special thing.
Yeah.
We would rather people it is a disconnect to watch it through the screen as you're recording something, I think.
Yeah.
So I completely understand it. I don't know if I feel that strongly about it personally.
Yeah.
But I completely understand when people are like, don't take photos. Just be here.
Okay,
There
how
will be
about
photos.
this? There was a very cute flower girl. I think she was the niece of the bride, and she had plopped herself down while the ceremony was going in the shadow of her mother because it was quite a hot day, and she just looked pooped. I was like, "This is really cute," but I was on the edge of the aisle, and I'm certain I was the only one that could see this. I was like, I should be allowed. They should say no photos
unless you got
unless you got a really good one, and then you can take the photo.
Yes. Did she also not throw any flowers? I think she was.
Yeah, that was well.
I think she was not too happy with her part of the ceremony.
I have never, ever, ever seen a flower girl that's like, I'm loving this and I'm going to do the best job ever. Because as soon as they get out there and they're like, and everybody's looking at them, a bunch of people, I would say 90% of people they don't know.
Yeah.
I don't blame the kids for like freaking out. But yeah, so she held the basket of petals
all the way down.
All the way down, yeah. Anywho. Was that? Yeah, you did your thing. Okay. Gentlemen. Oh, this is by Jacob. Gentlemen. First time emailer, long time listener.
Wow.
I've never written into any podcast before, but I've just binged a lot of episodes. Sorry, that's not even what he said.
Is it binged?
It's just binged. They're spelt the same, so sorry for the confusion. But I've just binged a lot of episodes. Figured you may as well give me some advice because this is too petty to talk about with a real person.
Oh, great.
Hey, we're here for that.
Yeah.
That's great. My best friend has started dating a girl, and I don't like her very much. I'm happy for him, but I don't think they have much in common, and they always seem to do what she wants. And honestly, she's not that nice to him. She's not a bad person, I don't think, but I feel like he's letting his excitement over having a girlfriend convince him that this is a better relationship than it actually is. Last time we hung out, he asked me what I thought of her. I obviously didn't want to be an arsehole, so I said she seemed great, and I'm glad he's happy. I think I said it a bit awkwardly, but he hasn't asked me about it again. My questions are, was this the right thing to do? 2, have you ever not liked a friend's girlfriend? What did you do / what would you do? I hope this email doesn't uncover some secret opinions about each other's girlfriends. Thanks in advance, and maybe they'll be broken up by the time you read this, so it was all for nothing anyway.
Quick question.
Lucky I'm not talking to Stacey right
Well,
now.
just a quick question. Do you like Stacey?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to answer the other way, so.
Yeah.
My question would be, how old are they?
Yeah, okay, so I think this has something to do with it, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you a story that's gonna throw that into oblivion.
Okay.
I don't know. Because there was a friend of mine, exact same situation, right? Because I think what you were gonna say is they're young, they'll get over it, they'll learn to like respect themselves. This actually only lasts for so long normally, when you have a girlfriend that, or even just 2 people, for the both of them, if they don't have that many interests, they're both probably excited about having a partner, and eventually they'll grow up and realize, oh, you know what, we're not right for each other, and you can just sort of let it go. Except I have a friend who was exactly this, and he started a relationship quite young. I want to say he was like maybe not even 18 yet, or around 18. Got into a relationship. This girl was just like pretty horrible to him. One of, I think, the peaks of that was, there you go, for his 21st birthday, so he must have been around 21, although maybe it was his 18th. Okay, sorry. Anyway, either an 18th or a 21st, like a significant birthday, told him he couldn't have a party. And that was just it.
Wow, okay.
And so I remember even speaking to his parents and being like, don't worry about it. I've been literally in this position before, had a horrible girlfriend, loved her lots, totally blinded to it. And then one day I was like, oh my God, I've just been in a really shitty relationship forever. Anyway, they've got kids and are married.
Oh.
So...
Has he had a party since?
I don't know. The truth is, this is kind of a distant friend, really. So I don't know anymore. I was sort of better friends with him at the time of that start of that relationship. Still not that great friends, but like a little bit better. And I just don't know about their life kind of since.
Yeah.
But I sort of feel like, maybe this is horrible to say because he does have kids and he's married and might be perfectly happy. But I want to say probably not in the happiest relationship, and maybe the kids glued something together that shouldn't have. And and sometimes you can get stuck in that rut.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So, well, and to answer the second part of this is I think we've known each other long enough that we've both had girlfriends that the other one's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
not quite right. And every time we're like, great, man.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually been more, and I've definitely done that in the past. Probably particularly your last girlfriend. It was not, well, actually, no, even then, she wasn't really that bad. It was just like, I was like, I just can't see Cambo with her forever.
Yeah.
It was more it.
Personality type, I think, was the big difference. Rather than like interest and stuff overlapped, etc. But personality type, I think, was just too different.
Yeah. And that one, I think I was more just like, oh, they will break. Like, this isn't damaging for Cambo, but like they just won't last is kind of how I felt.
Yeah.
And so, but my sister got married, and I didn't particularly like the guy originally, and then she got divorced. And again, it was like, oh, I just don't think that interests align. It was like they just didn't seem right, and I didn't say obviously anything about that, and I felt guilty about that in the future, obviously, since they've been divorced and whatnot. And my sister is now remarried, has kids, in a super loving relationship. Like, the best decision for her to do this. But I've always thought, should I have said something? But like, what do you say and how do you say it? It's so difficult.
Yeah.
I think Jacob here had a bone thrown to him a little bit, which was that his friend asked what he thought of her. And one, I think that can come from just being young and people ask that question. Like, I think when you started dating Stacey, you were never like, what do you think of her?
Because, I mean, and no offense to you.
Yeah.
I was like, not really important.
Yeah, which is why I think either this question comes from being young or it comes from him not being very sure about it.
Yeah. It's definitely like a thing of being like, I'm not sure if this is right. What do you think of her?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
And obviously, like, the inflection is important, which we haven't heard. And so maybe it was more clear that he's like, what do you think about her? You know, like, isn't she the best kind of implication? But and not to say that you did the wrong thing, Jacob, because I cannot tell you that I would do the same thing in your shoes or do this, which is, I think you can be like, oh, look, she's nice for XYZ reasons, but sometimes it feels like she steps on your toes a little bit, like, remember the thing that happened the other day? But otherwise, I think she's great. You give him the feedback sandwich approach.
Yeah, compliment sandwich.
In management. Give him a compliment, tell them something they need to fix, give them a compliment again. You do the same thing with this.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not sure I could definitely do that myself.
And
but
then
in hindsight, I think it's a great thing.
If you want to carry out the management tactic, you could also do a SWOT analysis as well. Really, like, knuckle down what those strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are of the relationship with them.
Yeah, that's right.
And when the threats feels like more than anything else,
Yeah. I think that's true. Or here's what you could do. You do the situation where you say, hey, friend, I got a new girlfriend. She's great. You'll meet her one day. Trust me, she exists. That normally helps solidify the story. Then you say, but the other day we were doing this, and then you give an example of what he's had in his relationship and be like, I'm not sure how to feel about this. What do you think? Do you think this is right? And when he was like, no, she crazy because she made you, I don't know,
cancel your birthday.
And then you can be like, oh, okay. And when you've got enough ammo, you throw it back at him. I didn't even really have a girlfriend. I'm sad and lonely. But I'm going to give you advice about your relationship.
Break up
with her. Yeah, difficult situation.
Yeah.
For sure. Also, here's what you can do. Kidnap your friend. Mm-hmm. Don't let him out for months until she's certain that he's dead and she'll move on. And then you let him go. And then he comes back to her and she's like, oh, sorry, I've moved on.
It's high risk, but it is high reward.
It's high reward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your friend back. You could, have your friend. I don't know if you're
24/7.
24/7. I don't know if you're into games, but like just make it so that he can hold a controller.
Yeah.
PlayStation controller. Don't connect the PlayStation to the internet. He could send out an SOS of sorts.
On some PlayStation game, like, help me.
Yeah.
Help anyone, please help me.
Yeah. Otherwise, gaming partner forever.
Yeah, that's good.
Pretty good. Also, if he keeps beating you, you could say
Beat him, not in that way.
beat
him in the other way.
You could say, I won't feed you this week. So, yeah, it's a win-win-win. That's it. So thank you, Jacob and Liz, for writing into us. If you'd like to write into us, you can do so. Reddit podcast, READIT podcast @gmail.com. You can also reach us at Facebook, Twitter, and our subreddit. They're all READIT podcast. We occasionally also plug our Discord, which is in the show notes.
Yep.
There's a link to that if you'd like to join.
It's just below those wonderful T-shirts.
Yeah. There's that experience that you should have buying a T-shirt. Do that.
So relaxing.
Or
if you're an adrenaline junkie, oh, it's exciting.
Yeah. It's whatever you want out of life is what that will give you by buying one of our T-shirts. Or mugs or stuff.
You can put it on whatever.
Whatever.
Buy a mouse pad.
Yeah. Rate the show or something.
Yep.
And
subscribe to the show or something.
And tell a friend. And that's it. Thanks for listening. And we will read you later.